On the one side, we have the criticism we do of the president legitimately for his spying programs, abuse of civil liberties, pro-banking, etc. And now on the other side, you have the right-wing lunatics like Glenn Beck, who blame him for things that are absolutely insane and not remotely true. So here's another good example.
What is the crisis that will blow those seeds or those embers that racists have been sowing? What is the billows for that? It will be a crisis of some sort that will set off a race war or some sort of a chaos in the streets. That's the cycle of hate. And I am convinced that we are now just waiting for the crisis. The seeds are being planted every day, and everything that doesn't become the crisis just becomes another seed, another ember that is waiting to set the entire house on fire.
Now, look, I understand that Glenn Beck is on his last legs, and he's floating into oblivion as we speak. Hey, Glenn, where are you going? Can hardly hear you. And he's not a very relevant figure anymore, so he can say all the loony things he wants, right? But this is dangerous talk. I mean, and maybe he is desperate, so he's trying to get back to what made him famous, which was dangerous, ridiculous talk. Now, he's blaming this on President Obama, saying that President Obama is going to plant those seeds that turn into a race war. When in reality, if anybody's egging people on in that direction, it's them. It's the usual projection, right? Can you believe what this black guy is doing? He's setting the races apart. Oh my God, you should worry about race, and that should be a top concern of yours. Oh, you see what Obama did about race? No, I saw what you did about race. Now, an interesting example of that was when President Obama went to go speak in Phoenix, talking about housing, but a lot of different people showed up, and actually his supporters outnumbered his opponents, but his opponents were very vocal. Now, first of all, it was like one guy showed up in an Obama bobblehead, and so obviously a lot of people that are in his camp, and then there were progressives who were there who were opposed to them. Now, most of this, in my opinion, makes sense. Some of it is, interesting signs. Like this one, they said, "Don't be weak, pipelines leak." Okay, you're against the Keystone Pipeline. I take it. It's a fun sign. And you're right, the Keystone XL pipeline is a problem. But that's a legitimate substantive complaint about the president, not making up crazy stuff about race wars, right? So, all right, and then another sign said the OCC refused to help homeowners. The liberals, man, God bless them. Their signs are so damn substantive. Like, that they're talking about the office of the comptroller of the currency? Okay, another sign, Bank of America made a joke of HAMP, and that is, of course, referring to the Home Affordable Modification Program. If anything, liberals, I think, are a little too substantive in their criticism. Those are tough things to chant. Then you go to the other side, the lunatics. No, actually, one more before we go to the lunatics. This one threw me for a loop. This one was talking about, not going to the Alberta-Canada pipelines and the tar sands and doing that. And the sign said, "Dinosaurs disapprove." I can't figure that one out. Okay, but hey, at least that guy's having fun, right? Now, we go to the other side, people not having fun, people who are mental and can create serious problems. First, start off nice and easy. Guy has a sign, Joe Arpaio for president. Now, Arpaio is a loathsome character, but he's from Arizona. He's the sheriff in that local region. People like him, conservatives like him. No one's surprised by that. Overall, nothing wrong with that sign. You go to protest the president, you're in favor of a conservative sheriff, no problem, okay? And then we get into real issues. Obama's opponents started singing the song, quote, "Bye bye black sheep." Gee, I wonder what they mean. I can't quite tell. Then there was this sign, "Impeach the half-white Muslim." Interesting that they went with half-white instead of half-black. Is that their thing of like, no, it's okay. Look, we're not racist. We said he's half-white, but we should impeach the half-white Muslim. But you know how Obama makes it about race, right? It's as if Obama came out with those signs like, "Hey, did you know I'm a half-white Muslim?" No, his opponents make it about race. They're the ones who came out with the signs. So more of this nonsense. Judy Burris says that she blames Obama for racism and that he has made it the worst since the civil rights era of the 1960s. And she says, quote, "He's divided all the races. I hate him for that." I love the irony of that quote. Okay, you see how it's his fault? That half-white Muslim. Another person said that, to be fair. Okay, he's dividing us. I hate him. But he didn't do anything. He just showed up to give a speech about home ownership. There's no substance here. In the immortal words, to paraphrase him, of Joe Scarborough, they hate him because they hate him. You know, Scarborough used to say that about Muslims. They hate us because they hate us. Well, they hate him because of his race, what they perceive to be his religion. He's not actually Muslim. How many times do we have to say it, you knuckleheads? Then we go to Deanna Bartram. She's a 17-year-old University of Arizona student. She believes that Obama is using the race card. But he didn't say anything about race. You did. In fact, she says, Obama is ruining American values. He's ruining the Constitution. He needs to go back to where he came from because obviously he's a liar. I'm not a racist. I'm part Indian. I mean, if they weren't so dangerous, they'd be hilarious, right? I love that disclaimer at the end. Gee, I wonder what she meant by he needs to go back to where he came from. Now, what does that have to do with being a liar or the Constitution? I think he's got serious problems with the Constitution, but I don't see how that applies to him going back to Hawaii. And I'm not sure that's what she meant. But to be fair, she can't be racist because Obama brought up the race card and she's part Indian. And remember, by the way, what they said about Elizabeth Warren when she said she was part Indian. How dare you? And then finally, Ron Enderle, who's a 77-year-old Chandler resident, he came out and he shouted, he's 47% Negro. Now that seems like a curious thing to say, right? He's half white, half black. Why 47%? He's referring to what the Republicans and Romney said during the campaign of the 47% who are the takers, who mooch off the government. Now, we said at the time that the Republicans were alluding to racial issues. Oh, the blacks, the minorities, etc. They're taking our good white money that we put into the government and they're taking it out of the government. Of course, when challenged on that, they were aghast. Romney was like, no, I never said any such thing. But look at what they heard. They heard that's who's taking the money, the Negroes. Hence, the he's 47% Negro line. But you see how President Obama is the one starting the race war, according to Glenn Beck? He's the one that played the race card. He's the one that brought up race. My God, the man almost never brings up race. And that's why I was shocked when he had a conversation with the country after the Trayvon Martin verdict came in. It lasted for about 5 minutes. That's about the 5 minutes we've gotten on race in 5 years of his presidency. In fact, almost all the African-American legislators in Congress are either publicly or behind the scenes livid at how little he's done for the African-American community because he's afraid of what Fox News and other conservatives would say. Well, I got news for you, President Obama. It doesn't matter how little you say about race relations. They hate you because they hate you. They think you're 47% Negro and nothing in the world is going to change that.